Hello everyone, it's time for your Champions League preview with the game at the Etihad. And before we dive in, make sure to like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell here at Dugout Daily, as well as checking out my F1 channel, hit the Apex, and follow me on X at MCFC Hibs. And make sure to drop your score predictions in the comments and tag a mate who bleeds sky blue or black and yellow as sixth meets seventh in Wednesday's Champions League blockbuster as Manchester City welcome Borussia Dortmund, with the two sides locked on 7 points from 3 matches and are separated only by Dortmund's slightly superior goal difference in the 36-team league phase. Pep Guardiola's men have quietly racked up results against Napoli, Monaco and Villarreal, as we've banked 7 points with 2-0 wins over Napoli and Villarreal, split by a 2-2 draw in the Principality. 6 goals scored makes us the lowest scorers in the top 12, yet 7th place would book a direct last 16 ticket, as domestically we have had back-to-back 3-1 wins over Swansea and Bournemouth after the Villa hiccup to put us back to second in the Premier League. Of course, we were 7th before last night's matches in the Champions League, and with them results, we've dropped down to 9th. Dortmund are in 8th. The Citizens' home record against German sides is frankly absurd, with 11 straight competitive wins and 0 defeats to Dortmund on this ground, and Erling Haaland will be desperate to extend his streak against the club where he announced himself to the world. Niko Kovac's Dortmund arrive on a goal-scoring rampage with 4 goals in each of their 3 Champions League outings, with a 4-4 draw against Juventus, 4-1 win over Athletic, and a 4-2 win in Copenhagen, with Felix Nemetsch's brace and Joe Bellingham's 2 assists in Denmark proving the difference, as their 12 strikes tying Bayern for second behind only PSG before last night's 2-1 win for Bayern at PSG. Domestically, they've scraped 1-0 wins in 3 straight Bundesliga games and a penalty shootout in the Cup. They've scored in every away game this season and in all 3 previous Etihad visits, but left with 2-1 defeats in 2021 and 2022. Team news first for the hosts. Mateo Kovacic remains out with an ankle issue, but Rodri and Haaland shook off knocks to play a part against Bournemouth. I expect 4 changes from that 3-1 win over Bournemouth, with John Stones in for Josko Vardiol, Ryan Aït-Nouri in for Nico O'Reilly, Savinho in for Bernardo Silva, who, if he gets booked tonight, will be suspended for our next Champions League game, and Tiani Reinders for Ryan Cherki, who recently returned from injury. I predict City to play in a 4-1-4-1 with Donnarumma in goal, a back 4 of Núñez, Stones, Diaz and Aït-Nouri, with Gonzalez protecting the back 4, and Savinho, Reinders, Foden and Doku behind Haaland in attack. Dortmund's injury list is heavier, with Niklas Süle out with a toe injury, Julian Duranville out with a shoulder injury, and Julian Brandt out with a muscle injury, as Nico Schlotterbeck is fit again after illness. I predict 4 changes from their 1-0 win over Augsburg, with Schlotterbeck in for Anselmino, Svensson in for Chukwuemeka, Joe Bellingham in for Pascal Gross, and Karim Adeyemi in for Brandt. I predict Dortmund to play a 5-2-3 with Kobel in goal, a back 5 of Kuto, Schlotterbeck, Anton, Bensebaini and Svensson, with Nemetschke and Bellingham in midfield, and Adeyemi, Guirassy and Bayer in attack. Now on to the man everyone's watching. Erling Haaland needs a goal to become the first player in Champions League history to scoring 5 straight appearances for 3 different clubs, with that already being done at Salzburg and Dortmund. He has scored 26 goals in 16 games this season, with 13 in 10 Premier League matches and 4 already in Europe. As Pep Guardiola said, it's difficult to find a world-class player who is incredibly humble and always wants what's best for the team, as HAALAND just smiled and said, "I'm just early." Dortmund have conceded in every game, and only the reigning champions had outscored them in Europe before last night. Yet City's home fortress, and Haaland's red-hot form tilt the balance. I'm calling a third consecutive 2-1 Etihad victory for the Sky Blues against Dortmund in a tight and tense affair, but another 3 points in the bag. Therefore, my prediction, as said, is Manchester City 2, Borussia Dortmund 1. That's your lot then. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell here at Dugout Daily, as well as checking out my F1 channel, Hit the Apex, and follow me on X at MCFC Hibs. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. And come on, City.